Big Z Reviews. Hi, my name is Brandon Zarzyczny, but you can call me Big Z. And today I'm doing a roundup review of all of the nominees for Best Picture for the Oscars. And some of these I have done full reviews, and I'll link them down below. But also a lot of these I have not gone around to reviewing, so I thought it'd be nice to do a little bit of a roundup here and talk about the movies that are up for Best Picture. And this year it has some great movies, but also has some, at least one very bad one, and one that's impossible to see. So I have seen all of them except for I'm Still Here, and I can't. It's impossible to watch. Like usually that's more of like when the foreign films are like impossible to watch, but this one is a film for Best Picture, and it was literally impossible to watch. Unless maybe you're in a big city and you have a theater that runs a lot of indie movies. But the thing is, like, I watch a lot of, like, Dan Murrell, like, doing the box office rundown. And a lot of times you'll see movies that have, like, a really big, like, box office percentage. But, like, they're in one or two theaters. And I don't remember really seeing I'm Still Here much there that much. So it's like they're not doing any publicity for it. It's not available on any kind of streaming. It's not even available if you know where to find screeners. Let's just say it's not available anywhere. So that one just isn't even on the board. But other than that, I'm going to start from the bottom for the worst films and go to my favorite films. Of course, at the worst film, you have Emilia Perez. And it's just a Frenchman doing a circle jerk. That he reported to say that he came up with the poorest country that he could think of, and that had a gangster presence, and so that made it Mexico. And then decided to use Google Translate to create his music, to translate his lyrics to Spanish. And then he got no Mexican actress. I think there's one Mexican actress in this film. And they're Colombian, they're from Spain, or they're Americans that can barely speak Spanish, like middle grade Spanish. And all the songs are really bad. And then there's all of the shenanigans with Carla Sofia Gasson as Emilia Perez. And I think she would have won Best Actress, possibly. And I think Emilia Perez, for some reason, would have been up for a Best Picture, like had a chance at winning. But I don't see how it could win now. And it's just not a good film. Like, there's nothing redeeming really about it. So next you have The Brutalist. And that was directed by Brady Corbett. And then he stars Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones and Guy Pearce. And this is a bit of a brutal watch. Like, I finally able to see it when it came on streaming, and it's like 3 hours long. And I think the worst part of that is that it feels like a biopic, but this guy Laszlo Toss literally doesn't exist, and it's like his life is so horrible, and they spend the whole movie focusing on nothing. There's no story, and it's just all him. Like, beginning, he's in a concentration camp and comes to America, getting a bunch of hand jobs from everyone. He gets addicted to opioids. He wants to build a big, ugly building, a big, ugly YMCA for a rich guy. And he keeps screwing him over and over until he actually ends up raping him. And then the movie's over. In the end, you get an epilogue where everyone loves him. He's so famous. You skipped all over all the good stuff. It is so odd that he wrote all this. This a complete creation. He looked at like there was one guy that was a Jew, and he was from like he came over, and he was a part of the Brutalist School of Architects, and he decided, I'm going to make a story about how I torture him for 3 hours. That sounds great. It's just not a fun watch. And I don't think I have the chance of winning either. I think it's too long for all the people voting for it. And next, I think would probably be like, after that, all the movies are really good. Like, they're not like, right. I think next I would say Nickel Boys. And that is a really indie film where a lot of it is like, it's again tragic, where it's based on the story where there's this like reform school for like, and for white and black kids, for boys, but then like instead of going to jail they send them to that, and but then the school would, if a boy was acting up, they would beat them, torture them, and stuff them in a box in the attic until they die, or just shoot them. And they would like have mass graves in the forest behind the school. And this is, you see, like it's very interesting filmmaking. Like the director is Ramel Ross, and he has like Ethan Harris as Elwood, and Brandon Wilson as Turner, and they are essentially, you're viewing the whole film like from their first person perspective. And I've watched some interviews about them. They actually had them, the people, the actors are like the cameramen. He actually had the young actors do the shots, the first person shots. And I love that even though this is such a tragic story, they don't spend every waking moment like focusing on the horribleness. There's also moments of joy, moments of friendship between these two young men. And I guess especially it's horrible. So the guy you start out with, like he essentially is just hitchhiking, and a guy that has stolen the car picks him up, and the cops arrest him too, saying that he also stole the car, and it's just horrible. But it's also a lot of touching moments, and it's very interesting filmmaking. But again, not an easy watch because of what's going on. And then I would have Conclave. And this is like Oscar bait film, although it's a bit prophetic because it's about the Pope dying, and then the whole conclave to elect a new Pope, and you look at behind the scenes, everything that goes on. And it is very interesting. A lot of great actors doing a lot of great acting, and you see, it's interesting to see like their take on what actually happens behind the scenes with all the infighting between the different cardinals. And it's kind of funny. There's a big like secret. There's multiple secrets and twists and stuff. But like one of the big ones, you think that that there was a report about the one person that the Pope had found that he was going to discuss a guy, and he was going to get rid of him, but that he died. But like I thought everyone's like, oh, another child raper. God damn it. But I like that they kind of did something different with it. The more that he's just a douche. He's just like I don't want to spoil it, but like they did something more political about what they're doing. You know, it wasn't the child rape. Although they had some other sexual conduct within one of the other cardinals that was up for the big job. And I think that this one, if I was gonna bet on this, I would probably bet on Conclave winning. It's kind of like the safest choice. And it's a good film. It's just not great. And I think the final big twist is a little goofy, but it's interesting. It was kind of unexpected. But then for after that, I would probably put Wicked. And this is absolutely beautiful songs. Like, I mean, it's so crazy that this movie is in the same category as Emilia Perez. With like the music and the singing from Cynthia Rivio as Elphaba is just outstanding. And the actual film, like there's a lot of great, like the costumes and the sets and everything is really impressive. And I had a lot of good time with it, but it's definitely it's a little long, especially because I guess longer than the stage musical, and it's only part one. But I mean, they have a lot of stuff to do to introduce a lot of stuff, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I don't think I had the chance to win, but I mean, John Chu did a really good job, and the whole team did a really good film. You know, it's especially the music is amazing. And after that, I probably put a Complete Unknown. And this one, I wasn't really that looking for, and then looking forward to watch it. I've kind of on biopics, especially the music biopics. I've kind of gotten that I don't really care about them anymore. But when I finally did watch this, it is beautiful, and it was a really interesting way to do like a musical biopic. Like this is James Mangold. He did Walk the Line. There's also another portrayal of Johnny Cash in this film from Boyd Halbrook. I love that he was just encouraging Timothy Chalamet's Bob Dylan. And Timothy Chalamet, he did all the singing and playing himself. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a really good portrayal of Bob Dylan. Like Bob Dylan's kind of an asshole, but he's a genius. And I mean, I love that it's kind of like a love triangle. And like there's also about like his Edward Norton as Pete Seeger, and there's like a lot of stuff going on, like the rise of folk music. But the main thing is his rise as beginning his career, and then while he's switching to playing more like rock and roll and going electric. And a big thing is like the Newport Folk Festival, them freaking out about him really not playing folk music anymore, but he doesn't want to keep playing the same songs over and over again. And it's really, the music is beautiful, and it's really well crafted film. Like I loved it a lot. Like now we're getting to the movies that I loved. And I mean, I'll probably put it in my top 10 films of the year. Ones after, from here on, they're in my top 10 films of the year. I also think that this one has a chance at winning, but I probably won't, to me. And next after that is The Substance. And this is just a body horror, like amazing film that is so cool to have like a horror film, like a body horror film, like in the category for Best Picture. And this is directed by Coralie Fajat. I'm saying that right. But like she's directed some other really interesting films before. And they got Demi Moore and you got Margaret Qualley. And there's like she's an aging like star, and like she is kind of getting fired from her like video that she does, her like fitness videos, and she gets an offer to take the substance, which will make like a new perfect version of her. And this new perfect version, like they're still her, but they share the body, or they have two separate bodies. The body comes out of the back, but they share time. They have to go week to week. But then when the younger version of her starts stealing time, there are consequences for the older version of her. And I think Demi Moore should win for Best Actress. But I don't think this has a chance at Best Picture, because a lot of people will like turn their nose at it. They won't want to vote for a body horror film. Next, now we're down to like the number 2 favorite film in this category, and that is Anora. And this was directed by Sean Baker. And this is like a really indie film. It mainly starring Mikey Madison as Annie, and Mark Edelstein as Vanya, then Yura Borsov as Igor. And essentially she is, an escort or a stripper, but she like knows Russian. And you have the son of a Russian oligarch comes into a club, and the club owner comes in and says, hey, we need someone to talk that is able to understand Russian. You want to, dance for him? And then it begins a romance, like Pretty Woman, except if Pretty Woman was real. And also, it's also a little bit like the Simpsons episode when Flanders and Homer marry the strippers in Las Vegas. But like they like it's really cool, because like it's essentially there's like 2 separate movies. But like the first half of it is just this like them falling in love and partying and then getting married in Vegas. And then the second half is his Russian oligarch parents learning that he just got married to an American stripper and sending his enforcers to make him get an annulment. And then the second half of the movie, like for a while, I was worried, are they gonna kill her? But it's not that. It becomes more, it's like almost like slapstick, like comedy, where like they keep just trying to restrain her, but they want to hold her there so that and find the guy, then take him and get an annulment. But the guy runs away, and then she keeps fighting him and beating up the 2 enforcers. And then it's really funny, really crazy. And then it turns into a thing where they're hunting all of like Atlantic City for this guy, this the son of this Russian oligarch. and like going all over trying to find him, and the shenanigans ensue. And it's a really incredibly interesting film. Like, I loved it. I think this had a chance at winning, but I'm not sure if it will or not. It definitely had a chance. And then finally, you get to my favorite movie in this category and my favorite movie of the year, Dune Part 2. And I think the biggest problem with this film and why it won't win this or maybe any other of the awards is that it came out so early in the year. Like, it's really tough for films to come when they come out early to actually win anything for the Oscars. You know, even if the film's amazing. Like, a lot of the stuff it wasn't even nominated for. Like, Emilia Perez was nominated for like 13 awards, and Dune Part 2 was hardly nominated for any. And it's just a shame. Denis Villeneuve is such an amazing film, and everyone in it was so perfect. And I just loved it so much. But it has no chance at winning, especially with it so long and being sci-fi and being so early in the year. It has no chance of winning, but it's still my favorite movie of the year. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.